There are some strange occurrences in the Megillah, which at first glance don't seem to make sense. So, for example, Esther's strategy was to arouse the suspicions of the king concerning Haman, because why would she invite Haman to two parties that she was making really just for the king? And things took place during that night, and the king came to the realization that Haman was not exactly as loyal as he made himself out to be, because the fact is that Mordechai had saved his life, and that called for a significant reward to Mordechai, and Haman had been lax in doing that. So already he began to turn against him. Then the night of the second party, again he asks Esther what it is that she wants, and whatever it is, up to half the kingdom. And then she says that if the king will fulfill my request, give me my life at my request and the life of my nation. So then the king behaves in a manner which is like he's shocked. The king Achashverosh said to Esther Hamalka, who is this person? And what is he? Whose heart led him to do this thing? So what's happening here is that Achashverosh is feigning ignorance. He doesn't know about it. But he was the one that gave permission for the entire thing. So why would he be pretending? Does he simply want to save face in front of Esther? If you go back to the conversation between Haman and Achashverosh, when Haman wanted permission to promulgate the decree to kill the Jews, so he doesn't mention the Jews by name. It says that Haman said to the king Achashverosh, there's one people that are dispersed and separated throughout the provinces, and their laws are different, and they don't keep the laws of the king. In other words, they don't pay their taxes. In other words, they're disloyal and so on and so forth. So let the king write a decree to destroy them. But he doesn't mention who they are. He doesn't say it's the Jews. Nor does Achashverosh ask, what's the name of this people? What are you talking about? So that's an interesting thing. I mean, Haman knew who he's talking about, and the decrees went out against the Jews. But in these conversations, the Jews are not mentioned. I think there's a point over here, and that is that all the hatred that the anti-Semites have for the Jews throughout the centuries, it all goes down to it's very personal. It's their personal emotions. They dislike the Jews for various reasons. Most of them have to do with the fact that the Jews are a aggressive people, they're a productive people, and a competitive people, and they were basically ahead of the nations. That's why they were invited in to improve the economic situation there. So the Jews are a very capable people, and the Gentiles have a great deal of envy, and they don't know what to do with it. Indeed, in this situation, Mordechai refused to bow down to Haman because he's a Jew, and Jews do not go along with the deification of people. We only believe in God. So that evoked a terrible personal hatred. He couldn't take it. He needed the approval of the Jew. That's how insecure he is. So no matter what he says about how bad the Jews are, but you need them desperately because everybody else is bowing down to you except them. So therefore, what he tries to do, it was too petty in his eyes to present it as a personal gripe. That would make him look small. So what he does is, and this is the skill of Haman, he transforms the entire thing. It has nothing to do with me. It's purely for the sake of the kingdom, and it's because these people have terrible character traits which will be destructive of the kingdom. That's been the theme of all the anti-Semites throughout history, where Hitler, the same thing, Pharaoh of Egypt, that the Jews are disloyal, you can't trust them. The truth of the matter is the exact opposite. The Jews are the most loyal, the Jews are the most productive, they're the best people to bring into your country, as opposed to bringing in these immigrants you have going today, coming into America, illegal, wreaking all kinds of havoc. So that is a teaching over here. Do not be taken in by the accusations that they make against the Jews. They are more a reflection of the inner failings, the defects that the accusers have, but they can't face it within themselves, so they kind of project it onto the Jew. All the hatred of the Jew is based upon projecting evil characteristics which the nations can't face. They can't face the fact that they stood by and did nothing in the era of the genocide, in the time of Hitler, and the United States also closed the borders, sealed tight, would not allow a single Jew out. They can't face the fact that they are facilitators with the Nazis. He who could save a life and doesn't do so is guilty for killing that life. So let's not be taken in by the pretension, no, we don't know, it's nothing to do, it's not personal, it's because of this, it's because of that. If you trace it back, just listen to the accusations they make against the Jews, trace it back, you will see that the ones who are doing the accusing are the ones who are completely guilty of that.